our conversations with our next guest, Coach Jimmy Burrow, a staple on off the bench during the 2019 National Championship run for LSU. As you heard him here every Tuesday morning, reminiscing on Saturday nights and looking forward to the next matchup. Now he is awaiting for Joe to get back right, as it looked like Joe Burrow was on pace to become the NFL's Rookie of the Year after his fast start in Cincinnati, and then he got injured midway through and had reconstructive knee surgery, and the Burrows are out west after surgery and now in rehabilitation as Joe makes his way back for his second season. We check in with Coach Burrow this morning. Coach, good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. I sorry about the little mix-up. I don't know what happened with my phone. We're having a little snow, so maybe the reception's not working this morning. But appreciate you having me on.
No problem at all, Coach. You guys bear no blame in the state of Louisiana. It was all our fault. Tell us about Joe. Just how he is, the state of him right now. I know that this is a little different from him being in the season and going through rehab. But how has that process been?
So the surgery went well. Dr. Neil Alatrosh out in Los Angeles did the surgery, and now he's just in rehab. Goes to a physical therapy session every day, and he's attacking that just like he did preparation for a game, and all indications are things are going great. So we were out there with him initially for the surgery. We're back in Ohio, but he's looking forward to being back with the Bengals. First game next year. He's constant contact with the coaches and his teammates, as you would think he would be, and still watches some film and make sure he watches every game, and he certainly watches LSU too when he can.
It never questioned the toughness of the former LSU quarterback, but it was a brutal injury against Washington. ACL, MCL, partial tells of the PCL, meniscus. I know that this was deemed a successful surgery by Cincinnati. How tough is this rehab and getting back right?
Well, it's just a process. It's a 9-month process. Some of those things that were reported in the press, some of the things that you just said aren't exactly the way it went. I won't get into details, but
that's good news.
It did go well, and we it's one of those things that happens, and you gotta take it day by day, which Joe does, and week by week, and he's already making tons of progress. And I had a conversation with a doctor yesterday, and they think things are really going great.
How's Dad holding up? How has this whole experience been for you as the father?
Well, it's tough. Joe really had never had a significant injury that caused him to miss any games, and his mom Robin and I were watching that Washington game, and he had a great first half, threw for over 200 yards, and then you see that, and so we knew right away when Joe doesn't get up that it's a pretty significant injury. So we hopped in the car and within about an hour and headed to Cincinnati to be home when he got back. And typical Joe, when he walked in the door, we're wanting to talk about the injury and everything, and he wanted to talk about the fact that Washington was giving up 195 yards a game, and they had thrown for 205 in the first half. So he still had that game on his mind, and I think actually the next day he ended up watching not only that first half but the second half that next day.
So let's get to some happier memories in this season. Previous to the injury, again, take me to the dad perspective. Just what was it like watching your son as a number 1 overall pick play quarterback in the NFL?
At a high level.
Well, I mean, it's still when we were actually able to go to the games, we weren't able to go to all of them because of the COVID restrictions, but to be in the stands and see him, out on the field with Ben Roethlisberger and Baker Mayfield and those guys was, I mean, it was special, and it still took you a while to really say this is really happening. And I knew that he was prepared for the season, even though it was certainly different than what we understand normal NFL pregame or pre-season preparation is. But Joe really didn't know any different because he'd never done it, so he just rolled with it and was having a great year and loves playing for the Bengals and loves his teammates and looks forward to getting back with them as soon as possible. And I do know that he does Zoom with them at times in meetings and just tries to stay involved as much as he possibly can.
Coach, at that level, how different is Saturday from Sunday? How much difference is the competition and the speed for a player like Joe going from just one day removed of being the best player in college football last season to what looked like the best rookie in the league in 2020?
Well, I think playing in the SEC, certainly you're playing against great talent every weekend, and so that makes it at least the transition probably not as great as if you're playing somewhere else. But the main thing I think he said was just there's 11 guys out on defense. They can all really run. So if you're thinking you might scramble out of something and outrun a defensive end, it's probably not happening. And then the other thing is just it's a full-time job, so defenses have really all day and all week to prepare for you. So you may be seeing a few different looks that you normally maybe don't see in college because you don't have that much time to prepare. The speed of the game is definitely different, and Joe figured that out pretty quick.
Well, some of my favorite clips from this year, I was watching Mic'd Up on YouTube, and it was him talking to the refs and him basically being like, "Yeah, I got to slide now." Because like the refs are like, "Hey man, you're gonna keep taking these shots," and he's like, "Yeah, no, like I kind of
even the
learned
other
my
team,
lesson last week."
I think against Pittsburgh, one of the linebackers runs up to him and is like, "Bro, you got to start sliding." He's like, "I know, man, I know."
Yeah, Joe, Coach O used to try to get him to slide too. It's just not something he likes doing, but he knows he needs to, and the thing is, as they said, that the D line is just so fast in the NFL that they're coming off the corner and you're going, hey, I'm going to bail out in the opposite direction, but then you got Joey Bosa coming off the edge or Myles Garrett or something like that, and you just say, yeah, I got pretty good speed, but those guys are as fast as me and a lot bigger. So he learned right away to slide and to get out of bounds, but he'll never like it, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I know you know this, Coach, but like for all the listeners, just sometimes simple stuff needs to be stated. But like, just think about it, right? I mean, the best players that you're going against in college, the best players in each, that's every single player in the NFL, which is why the success he was having is so incredible. Speaking of success, Coach, you mentioned you're still watching LSU. Joe still watches LSU. I was texting with Jamie about it the other day. Did you take in that big Florida win on Saturday anywhere?
Oh yeah, we loved it. We watched it from start to finish, as we do really every game, win or lose. But we were communicating as a family back and forth, and a lot of our friends that we made in Baton Rouge were all excited, and it was a big win for LSU certainly, and just a big win to maybe get going for the remainder of the season, which is only one game. But it reminded me of the Auburn game maybe when Joe and that group were juniors, and they had a big come from behind victory at Auburn with a field goal, and this one seems similar in that it was a big win. They kicked the field goal really almost the last play of the game, and you just kind of look at it and say, well, hopefully this is the start of another great season next year.
Yeah, I mean, it can certainly be that sort of launching point. Coach, you're obviously a defensive coach and have been for your entire adult life. When you've watched LSU's defense at times this year, just like what are some of the things that have stood out to you?
Well, it's just always tough to replace as many great players as they had to on really both sides of the ball. I haven't been there in person and really haven't watched an all 22 tape of any of those games, so it's hard for me to really comment on those things. But I know anytime you lose as many great players and as they did, really, as I said, both sides of the ball, then it's not going to be easy. And those guys were not only great on the field, they were great off the field in the locker room, and it's a process to replace that many players, and just watching it during the course of the year, I know they got a lot of great players, and I think especially after that big victory against Florida, that the future looks really bright for them.
Anonymous user inside of the Bayou Ford chat app. It is great to hear from Jimmy Burrow this morning. Jesse McCormick, the Burrows are diehard LSU fans. I love it. Brian Burgess says the Burrows are great people. Met them at the parade after the national championship. It's great to hear from Jimmy this morning. You got a memory on National Signing Day? Today is National Signing Day for college football. I know that you went through this process twice with Joe, and you went through it with your other sons as well. But does anything stand out? You were also a coach for such a long time on National Signing Day. Does this day bring back any memories for you?
Well, certainly Joe signing with Ohio State and Jamie signing with Nebraska. Those are great memories as a parent, as a coach. I remember we were getting ready to sign a young man from West Virginia here at Ohio, and we were waiting by the fax machine, and he calls right before the signing period. I think it's at 7 still that you can start sending in the letters of intent. And he said, "Hey, the West Virginia just called and they lost somebody and they just offered me a scholarship." And he'd already signed the papers. He was just waiting to fax it. So there's stories like that, and I could go on and on about it. But it's a big day for young men across the country and really families across the country, because it certainly changes one's life for the better, and getting a great opportunity to play college football.
We would talk to you last season, and during these conversations, you would be staring at the Unitas, the Manning, the Camp, the Heisman trophies. Has there been a trophy case built for that, and does it stay at the parents' house, or does it go to the new crib in Cincinnati?
No, we had a local friend of ours, Randy Wolf, here in town that built a great trophy case, and most of them are over there. But I'm still just right now, I'm still looking at a picture with Coach O and Joe holding the Heisman, which was just a couple of days ago, a year ago, and I see Joe with his senior night at A&M, and the one a big portrait of painting of him smoking a cigar. So I'm keeping enough around here that we'll never certainly forget those great times. And then when we go to Joe's, then you always take a little extra time to sit in front of that trophy case and see all the great memories that are from last season and from LSU.
What a magical run. A great 2-year run that has cemented you, your son, and your family in the minds of LSU fans for generations. It's always good to hear from you, Coach. Please send Robin and the crew our best Merry Christmas from everybody down here in South Louisiana. Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. And go Tigers and go Bengals.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Jimmy Burrow checking in from the Midwest this morning. What's that?
Same thing. Go Tigers, go Bengals.
Absolutely. All right, we will do Would You Rather next.